Hey, magandang buhay! So, dito sa video na to, ang focus ng ating discussion will be on rational functions and solving rational equations and solving rational inequalities. Okay? So, ready ka na? Okay, that is great. So, let us start with rational function. So, ano nga ba ang rational function? So, nung grade 8 tayo, na-discuss na sa atin yung rational function. So, let me remind na lang or i-recall na lang natin ano nga ba ang rational function. So, ang rational function ay denoted by p of x over q of x na kung saan yung p of x ay isang polynomial function. Same thing sa q of x. Polynomial function din siya. Yun nga lang, dapat yung q of x hindi siya dapat equal sa 0. Kasi we all know that if the fraction wherein its numerator is any number except for 0 and its denominator is equivalent to 0, then that will be undefined. Okay? Ngayon, yung domain ng rational function natin, ito yung set of all values of x na kung saan yung q of x is not equal to 0. So, magkakaroon rin tayo ng iba pang discussion on determining or identifying the set or the domain of a rational function. So, let us have some examples. So, dito sa example na ito, these are real-life examples na kung saan i-express natin sila into a rational function. Okay? So, let's have the first one. An object is to travel 15 meters. Express its speed as a function of travel in time in seconds. So, itong nakikita nyo sa screen natin, it involves distance, speed, and time. So, grade 6 topic if I'm not mistaken. So, this is a grade 6 topic, science. Yeah, I think it's science and math. Alam ko na di-discuss din itong topic na to doon sa dalawang subjects na yun nung elementary tayo. So, for us to remember the formula, kung paano paikutin yung formula ng that involves distance, speed, and time, this triangle will really help us. So, in this case, this is distance, speed, and time. So, kunyari, distance ang pinapahanap. So, that would be speed times time. Kapag speed yung pinapahanap naman, that is distance over time. Kapag time yung pinapahanap, that will be distance over speed. Okay? Ngayon, since dito sa ating example, express its speed. So, we're asking for the speed. So, we can use S will be equal to D over T. Ngayon, focus pa rin dito sa screen natin. Yung 15 dito, that will be the distance. Kasi 15 meters, so that would be our distance. So, this will be S is equal to 15 over T. Yung last na gagawin natin, ang sabi dito express its speed as a function of travel in time that is denoted by T in seconds. So, in that case, yung S, palitan lang natin siya ng S of T. So, ito na yung magiging function natin. S of T is equal to 15 over T. Okay? Madali. Next example tayo. Okay, so in an organ pipe, the frequency, which is denoted by F, of vibration of air is inversely proportional to the length L of the pipe. Focus muna tayo doon. So the frequency of vibration of air is inversely proportional to the length of the pipe. So grade 9 topic. So how do we write or how do we are going to express this in an equation? So the frequency of the vibration, that is letter F, is inversely proportional to the length of the pipe. So F is equal to K over L. Yung K dyan, yun yung constant of proportionality. Let us continue. Suppose that the frequency of vibration in a 12-foot pipe is 45 vibrations per second. Express F as a function of L. So, anong gagawin niya natin dito? Substitute muna natin yung mga values. Yung 12, that would be the frequency of the frequency, while yung 12, that would be the length. Okay, sorry for that mistake. So, 12, that would be the length or that would be the value of L, while yung 45, that would be the frequency of vibration. So, as you can see on our screen. Next na gagawin natin dito, isolve muna natin yung constant of proportionality. So in our case, we're going to multiply this equation by 12. So in that case, k will be equal to 540. Aning next na gagawin dyan, using this one, yung f is equal to k over L, palitan lang natin yung k ng 540. Now, focusing on dun sa last part, express f as a function of L, yung f, palitan lang natin siya ng f of L. Okay? So, yan ay magiging final answer natin. F of L is equal to 540 over L. Okay? Next one. A fence is to enclose a rectangular vegetable farm with an area of 400 square meters. If x is the length of one side of this fence, find a function p of x representing the perimeter of the fencing material required. So, rectangular vegetable farm. So, again, we all know that the area is equivalent to length times width, or in our case, x times y. Sir Ben, saan mo nakuha yung y? In this case, kasi Sir Ben, x lang yung nakalagay dyan. Sabi dito, x is the length of one side. How about the other side? So, I'm going to denote that as y. Next, we know that yung A or yung area is equivalent to 400. Okay? So, ano yung next na gagawin natin dyan? Sir Ben, saan nanggaling yung 400 over x is equal to y? Or bakit nagkaroon tayo ng 400 over x? Ang goal kasi natin dito is kailangan yung function p of x natin, ibig sabihin dito, lahat ng variables kailangan x lang sila. So, dapat walang letter y. So, papagita ko sa next na ano natin, tingnan nyo, no? The perimeter is equal to 2x plus 2y. So, in this case, di ba, sabi, find a function p of x representing the perimeter. Okay. Ngayon, if this is the perimeter, kung titignan natin, dalawa yung variables. Yung x at saka yung y. Ang sabi dito sa ating, nababasa nyo sa screen natin, represent or find a function p of x. Meaning, kailangan yung variable natin, x lamang siya. So, kailangan matanggal yung y. So, how to do that one? Substitute the value of y in terms of x. Which is, eto yon, yung 400 over x. So, in that case, this will be p. So, again, ang gagawin ko niyan dito, yung y, papalitan ko siya ng 400 over x. Okay? So, ayan siya. P is equal to 2x plus 2 times 400 over x. So, in this case, syempre, simplify ko lang ito. This will be equal to, p is equal to 2x plus 800 over x. So, since ang goal natin is to find a function p of x, yung p, papalitan lang natin yan ng p of x. So, that will be our final answer. Okay? Now, next topic will be solving rational equations and inequalities. Pero bago tayo magtungo dyan sa topic na yan, meron kasing topic sa mga grade 11, after nung expressing a real-life situation into rational function, after nun is distinguishing rational function, rational equation, and rational inequalities. Hindi ko na nilagay sa slide dito kasi napakadali lang niya. So, I'm going to explain it. Listen carefully. So, alam naman natin kung ano yung isang rational expression. Example ng isang rational expression, x plus 5 over x. Okay, so again, rational expression, x plus 5 over x. Next, anong gagawin natin? Magiging rational equation ito kapag ka ganito. X plus 5 over x is equal to 3. So, or is equal to 3x, or is equal to 100, or is equal to negative 5. Okay? So, that is an example of a rational equation. Paano naman ang isang rational inequality? Same expression. X plus 5 over x is greater than 5, or is less than 2x, or is greater than or equal to negative 5, or it's less than or equal to 7. Yun yung example ng rational inequalities. Sir Ben, paano magiging function yan? So, same expression pa rin tayo. X plus 5 over x is equal to y. Or pwede mong baliktarin yun. Y is equal to x plus 5 over x, or f of x is equal to x plus 5 over x. So, Ganun lang siyang kadali to identify kung yung given by isang rational equation, kung ang given by isang rational inequalities, kung ang given by isang rational function. So again, recall lang natin ha, kapag rational function yan or rational equations muna, may equal sign. No? Tapos equivalent siya, hindi siya sa y or f of x. Kapag equivalent yung rational expression sa y or sa f of x, function yon. Kapag yung rational expression naman, makikitaan mo ng inequality symbol, greater than, less than, greater than or equal, less than or equal to a certain number, okay, or variable, except for y, or to x, ganun siya. Okay? So that is an example of a rational inequality. So ganun lang siya. Proceed tayo dito, solving rational equations and inequalities. Dito, mahirap siya. Bakit? Kasi hindi tayo familiar sa mga different types of word problems. Okay? Yung mga ipepresent ko dito, hindi lang naman ito yung mga word problems that involves rational equations or rational inequalities. Again, these are just some of the examples, pero marami pang examples ang makikita natin sa internet or sa mga books. Okay, so let us have the first example dito sa solving rational equations and inequalities. Okay, it took ship A 3 hours more to travel between the two towns, that is 240 kilometers apart, compared to ship B who only traveled 200 kilometers. Determine the speed of ship A if the difference between the speed of the two ships is 10 kilometers per hour. So, analyze muna natin bago tayo mag-solve. Meron tayong dalawang ship. So, ship A and ship B. Si ship A, nag-travel siya ng 240 kilometers. Tapos, si ship B, nag-travel siya ng 200 kilometers. Ano pa? Yung time na ginugol ni ship A sa pagta-travel ay mas marami ng 3 oras compared kay ship B. So, come to think of it, konti lang ang tinravel ni ship B kasi 200 lang. Si ship A, 240. Pero, yung time ni ship A mas, ang tawag dito, mas mahaba. So, in that case, mas mabilis ng konti si ship B. Next, determine the speed of ship A if the difference between the speed of the two ships is 10 kilometers per hour. So, ang tinatanong dito sa problem natin is, identify natin anong speed ni ship A. Given na yung speed ni ship B minus sa ship B ni speed ni ship A ay equivalent sa 10. Okay. So, bagalan lang natin ng konti. Let's try to I will try my best to discuss it properly and in a way na talagang maintindihan niyo siya. Dito sa problem natin, it involves, again, speed, distance, time. So, kung natatandaan niyo yung triangle kanina, so, we can, again, yung pag pinag-minus natin, ang makukuha natin is 10, we are subtracting the 2 speed. Okay? So, ibig sabihin, let us identify ano yung speed A at ano yung speed ng B. Okay? Paano ngayon yan? Di ba yung speed that is equivalent to distance over time. So, si ship A, yung kanyang distance is equivalent to 240. Okay? Tapos si ship B naman, yung kanyang distance naman is 200. Ngayon, doon naman tayo sa time. Focus tayo dito. Ang sabi, it took ship A 3 hours more to travel. So, ibig sabihin, alam ba natin, ito compared dun kay B, alam ba natin yung time ni B? Hindi, di ba? Alam ba natin yung time ni A? Hindi rin. Pero, ang alam natin dito is yung time ni A, depende yan doon sa time ni B. So, in that case, we can denote yung time ni B as T and yung time ni A as T plus 3. Okay? T plus 3 kasi nga sabi nga, 3 hours more. Okay? Ngayon, proceed na tayo doon sa last sentence. Determine the speed of ship A if the difference between the speed of the two ships is 10 kilometers per hour. So in that case, that would be ship B or the speed of B minus the speed of A is equal to 10. And then, alam naman natin na yung speed ng B is 200 over T at yung speed ng A is 240 over T plus 3. As you can see on our screen. Yung nakikita nyo ngayon, example yan ng isang rational equation. Okay? Ngayon, how are we going to solve rational equation? Ang gagawin ko niyan dito is, simplify ko muna yung nasa left side ng equation natin. How? So, multiply ko yung 200 by T plus 3. Multiply ko yung 240 ng T. Tapos, yung doon sa denominator naman, I'm going to multiply these two denominators. As you can see on our screen. Okay? So, you can pause it for a while for you to understand or for you to grasp ano yung nangyari from this line. Okay, from this line, going to the third line. Okay, you can pause it para at least makuha ninyo. Next, sisimplify ko pa rin itong nasa left side ng equation natin. Distribute ko yung 200. So, this will be 200t plus 600 minus 240t. Tapos, yung denominator, same pa rin siya. Okay? So, as you can see, ayun yung kanina. Tapos, yung dinistribute ko na yung 200 doon sa t plus 3, ito yung lalabas. Next, I'm going to simplify again the numerator. So, this will be 600 minus 40t. As you can see on our screen. Next. Ngayon, anong gagawin natin ngayon dito? I'm going to multiply the whole equation by t times the quantity of t plus 3. So, in that case, yung nasa left side, that would be 600 minus 40t. And yung sa right side naman, that would be 10t times the quantity of t plus 3. Next, syempre, simplify na natin itong nasa right side. So, this will be 10t squared plus 30t. Ngayon, express natin ito. So, this will be a quadratic equation now. So, express this in standard form. Ayan siya, as you can see on our screen. Again, you can pause it for a while para makita nyo. So, ano nangyari dito? 10t squared, tapos, yung negative 40t. So, I'm going to add positive 40 on both sides. Positive 40t on both sides. Kaya dun lumabas yung 70t. And then, yung negative 600, I'm going to add negative 600 on both sides. Kaya ito yung lumabas. Next, greatest common monomial factor. I'm going to factor out 10 here. So, magiging 10t t squared plus 70 minus 60 is equal to 0. Solving for the value of t, you may use, it's up to you kung saan ka nadadalhin. If you want to use quadratic formula, you may do so. Kung gusto mo namang gumamit ng completing the square or yung, ang tawag dito, completing the square or yung factoring, it's up to you. Kung saan ka nadadalian, yun yung gamitin mo. Okay? So, solving for the value of t, we will get, or before we solve, factor muna natin. Ako kasi yung ginawa ko dito, nag-factoring ako. Okay? So, in that case, that would be the quantity of t minus 5 times the quantity of t plus 12 is equal to 0. Then, solving for the value of t, we will get 5 and negative 12. So, yung t dito, this is time. And we can already cancel out yung negative 12. Sir Ben, bakit? Kasi wala namang oras na negative. Okay? So, therefore, yung time yung time dito is 5. Or yung value ng t dito is 5. So, ang hinahanap lang natin dito is determine the speed of shape A. So, ibig sabihin, focus lang tayo dito. So, ibig sabihin, yung value ng t, papalitan natin yan ng 5. Simplifying this fraction, 240 over 8, and that would be 30 kilometers per hour. Next example tayo. 8 cubic meters is the volume of a box wherein its base is a square. So, ibig sabihin, meron tayong box, yung volume niya, 8 cubic meters, tapos yung sa baba at saka sa taas, yung shape niya ay square. If the height should be longer than the measurement of the side of the square base, identify all possible measurements of the side of the square base. So, ang tinatanong dito, kung yung height daw ba ng box natin, kung yung height ng box natin is mas mahaba kaysa doon sa length ng square base natin, ano yung possible measurement ng side ng square base natin? Okay? So, since we're talking about volume here, we all know that the volume of a rectangular prism is length times width times height. Yun nga lang kasi, yung base natin is square. So, we can denote it as like that. V is equal to W times H. Kasi nga, yung sa baba natin is square siya. So, ibig sabihin, yung area nun is just simply W times W. Or if you want, L times L. It's up to you. Okay? Ngayon, this can be, we can rewrite this as, ayan siya, V squared times H. And we know that the volume is given naman na H siya. Ayan siya. Next, anong gagawin natin ngayon dito? So, ang sabi, tignan nyo the height should be longer than the measurement of the side of the square base. So, we can say that H must be greater than W. Sir Ben, ano ba yung value ng H? So, we can use this equation to determine the value of H. So, for us to determine the value of H, we're going to divide this equation by W squared. So, you can see on our screen. So, in that case, pwede na natin palitan yung H ng 8 over W squared. Ayan siya. Ngayon, let us solve this rational inequalities. Okay? So, we're going to add negative W on both sides. Ayan siya. Next, I'm going to multiply W squared on this inequality. As you can see on our screen. Ngayon, as you can see here, masabi na natin na yung W, hindi siya pwedeng maging equal sa 0. Sir Ben, bakit hindi siya pwedeng maging equal sa 0? Kasi, yung ating denominator noon magiging 0, di magkakaroon tayo ng undefined. So, again, hindi naman pwede yon. Next, hindi rin pwedeng maging 2 yung ating W, wherein yung numerator natin will be 0. Hindi siya pwede. Sir Ben, bakit? Wala naman kasing measurement na equivalent sa 0. So, ayan yung condition natin. So, ngayon, how are we going now to identify ano yung mga possible values ng W? What we're going to do is we're going to use a number line. Ayan siya, na kung saan open yung 0, open yung 2. Ibig sabihin, doon sa number line dyan, hindi niya pwedeng tapakan, hindi niya pwedeng daanan yung 0 o kaya yung 2. Okay? Ngayon, ano yung gagawin natin ngayon dito? We're going to identify kung yung mga numbers ba dito, okay ba sila? Ito yung from, these are the numbers from negative infinity hanggang 0, wherein 0 is not included. Identify rin natin kung okay rin ba yung mga numbers na nandito. These are the numbers from 0 to 2, na kung saan hindi kasama yung 0 at saka 2 kasi nga naka-open sila. And i-check rin natin kung okay ba yung mga numbers from 2, again, hindi kasama yung 2, hanggang positive infinity. Ngayon, before we do that, we can already eliminate yung mga numbers, yung mga negative numbers. Sir Ben, bakit? Again, walang negative measurement. So, ibig sabihin, ang chine-check na lang natin dito is yung etong mga numbers na nandito, saka yung mga nandito. So, how are we going to do that one? So, dito muna tayo magpo-focus sa mga numbers between 0 and 2. Okay? So, kapag ka mag-check tayo ng value, just simply choose any number from 0 and 2. You can choose 1 or 1.5. It's up to you. Pero ako, syempre, ang gagamitin ko is 1. So, I'm going to let W be equal to 1. So, again, ito yung gagamitin ko ngayon. What am I going to do is I'm going to substitute the value of W by 1. Is 8 over 1 squared minus 1. Sir Ben, bakit 8 over 1 squared minus 1 na lang yan? Okay? Kasi, focus tayo dito 8 over 1 squared minus 1. Again, pwedeng gamitin kahit alin dito sa dalawa. Okay? So, 8 over 1 squared minus 1. Is it greater than 0? Definitely yes. Kasi pag sinimplify natin ito, this is 8 minus 1 which is 7. So, ibig sabihin, we can now say that yung mga numbers na nandito, okay sila. This will satisfy our inequality. How about yung mga numbers na greater than 2? Paano ngayon sila? Tignan natin. So, again, pili ka lang ng numbers. Pwedeng 3, pwedeng 4, pwedeng 5. It's up to you. Pero kung gagamitin ko dito, siguro 4 na lang. Sir Ben, bakit 4? Gut feel or siguro by dahil nasanay na, so 4 na lang yung gagamitin ko. Saka yung 8 kasi is divisible by 4. So in that case, W is equal to 4. So we will have 8 over 4 squared minus 4. So again, simplify muna natin ito This is 8 over 4 squared, di ba? So that is 8 over 16, which is 1/2. 1/2 minus 4. We don't need to identify anong value nun. Bakit? Kasi we already know that the answer will be negative. So, is a negative number greater than 0? No. So, in that case, hindi pwede yung mga numbers yung mga numbers na greater than 2. So, ano yung magiging final answer natin? So, our final answer or yung mga possible measurements ng side ng square base, that would be from 0 hanggang 2 lang siya. Okay? So, ayan na. Yan na yung buong discussion natin for the rational function. So, again, sana may natutunan. Again, yung secret dito especially dito sa rational equation, solving rational equation, or solving problems involving rational equation or involving rational function or involving rational inequalities is be familiar with different types of problems. Okay? Marami pa tayong makikita sa internet ng mga problems that involves rational function or rational equation or rational inequality. Okay? So, practice, be familiarized, and then repeat, and repeat. And with that, maraming salamat sa pagkikinig, and yes, magandang buhay.